Oh, wow. That was surprisingly... That was surprisingly quick. I'm surprised at how quick that was. He didn't... I mean, he was very quick and to the point. I am generally used to him not being so quick. Not being so to the point. And, yeah, just going on and on. I think it was good that he seemed to use, like, somewhat precise language. I couldn't really imagine too many ways that people say that he, like, slipped up and lied or anything like that. There's a lot of the things that he talked about were just things that a lot of us have already known about how he's been targeted by the judicial branch in the past. This was actually a surprising speech, not necessarily surprising in what he said, but surprising what he didn't say. You know, anyone reading his Truth Social posts probably would have found the post that he made there quite a bit more inflammatory than what he said here. And so it is actually a good and heartening thing to see that he certainly decided to tone down his rhetoric, use a bit calmer speech, and really just focus on the task at hand, which is the fact that he is extremely likely being targeted politically. And, unfortunately, this is going to set a new precedent in the United States of America. And when that's pretty dangerous. It would be interesting to see if this is something that Republicans reciprocate, because now this has essentially told pretty much any judge, any DA, as well as I think probably any president as well, that they can just organize or even charge and indict a political opponent because they don't like him and they want to prevent him from running for president. Now, hopefully, I mean, I would love to believe that this entire process is legitimate. No one likes to see corruption, right? But that's just becoming harder and harder to believe, knowing how the person who, the DA who led this charge, knowing how biased he was against Donald Trump and literally wanting to throw him in jail, not even knowing any crimes that he committed, but just saying that he wanted to throw him in jail. Really is looking like a real show me the person and I'll show you the crime situation. Now, of course, if Donald Trump was, is found to be guilty, depending on the evidence that's brought forward, I think we do have a right to respect that decision. And hopefully he will not be, convicted of a crime he did not commit, which I think is, it's possible that happens, and hopefully that's not what happens. But it seems like the most likely result of this is just going to be the charges being dismissed. But, I would hope that the Democratic Party would at least care enough about the integrity of the rule of law that they wouldn't, jail him or convict him if he actually did not commit any crimes. But yes, we'll just have to wait this out and see. I was watching Newsmax this morning and they had a really good point where they were telling demonstrators, go home and just wait for the process to bear itself out. Because honestly, people are protesting right now. People love to protest. But honestly, with these types of situations, especially when it's a branch of government that's completely detached from being held accountable at this point, protesting is not really going to do much. The only thing it'll do is provide cover for folks, whether members of the government or not, give them cover to provoke them to violence. And I think the last thing we want to see is violence from any of these situations. We did see some scuffles today, but not too much violence at any of the MAGA or pro-Trump demonstrations today, which has been very good. I'm actually pretty impressed. But yeah, certainly go home, just wait and see what happens, vote accordingly, and I guess pray that the integrity of these establishments would would remain. Because if we lose faith in the justice system, then that can cause even more problems in the United States of America, and I think it can cause people to act out in even more dangerous ways.